Hi everybody, this is Steve. Today I have a Ibanez guitar body. Not really sure what it was before this happened to it. I believe it was an RG270. Not a very expensive guitar, but still an Ibanez, which makes it cool in my opinion. A couple of friends of mine, Ryan and Steve, decided that they were going to go with the burnt guitar look, and they put, I think it was some kind of lighter fluid, I'm not really sure. They put it on the guitar, and they told me once the fire started they couldn't actually get it to stop. So what happened, if you can, I'm not sure if you can see that from here, but the heat was so hot it burned actually through the entire body, you know, front and back. This is really brittle and dry. As you can see how bad this actually got burned. What we're going to do today, what I'm going to attempt to do, is I'm going to try to put the bridge, the floating trem on here, and the spring claw to see if this wood, I don't know if you can see how dry this is, but if you like take a screwdriver, I barely have to touch this and you can see it still just peels and flakes off. That's how dry all of this is. So if the bridge stays on and the tension stays on, then you'll see the rest of this video as we put the guitar together. And if it breaks and shatters, then we'll all get a good laugh and we'll move on to the next project.
First, we're going to install the spring claw straight to the back of the body. With just a little bit of tension, we're gently going to rest it into the back. Next, we're going to flip the body over and we're going to install the bridge. In this case, it's an Ibanez Edge. And here on the back on the block, you can see that there are 5 holes. 3 of those holes are meant for the little springs. And the last 2 are for the clamp that holds the springs into place. We're going to gently tighten these about hand tight. Again, we're going to flip the body over. Straighten out the springs. It's going to go straight through the body and the bridge will rest right on both bridge pivot screws. Now, holding this, again, we're going to flip the body over and gently lay it on our desk. Now, this next part is preference. Some people keep the springs straight, some people put them to a slight angle. I personally like the angle. So the first spring is actually going to go on the second, third, and the 4th pin of the actual claw. Once they're resting on here, we're going to tighten down the clamp just a little bit more, make sure that they stay in place now that they're at the correct angle. I'm going to put a little bit more tension on the actual spring claw. Now that there's some tension on it, we're going to flip the body back over again. And we're going to put some tension on the bar forward and backwards as if it were being played. And hopefully it stays together.
Okay, what we just finished doing here is we put the bridge back into this body, and the way that you saw me put these springs on is not the normal way that I would have gone about that. Normally I would put the actual spring on the claw first, and then drag it back to the actual block on the bridge. The reason I did it the other way is, as you can see the black on my fingers, that this wood, being that it was burnt as bad as it was, I'm afraid that it's not going to hold tension, and I was afraid that if I did it the normal way it would have pulled apart and, you know, probably ended up hitting me. But at the moment it seems like it's holding tension, and the area that we were worried about was this right in here. As you can see, that's all from the burn coming off. If this stays together, then great, we'll get to the pickups and install some electronics. We'll decide on that. And if this decides to not hold, we'll all get a good laugh and see what it looks like when it all breaks. So we're going to let this sit for a little while, and then we'll move on to the next thing. See you in a little bit.